Someone's left a trunk at Victoria Station with arms and legs in it.
Nothing about me in this. No, nor this, thank God.
Well, after 3 days, I think we're probably safe. Unless the Sundays have picked something up.
Poor Mr. McCallum. His big scoop only amounted to a tiny piece in the Daily Mail.
Are you coming to church with us tomorrow?
Yes, of course.
Oh, I'm afraid you'll have all the locals gawping at you.
Well, as long as you're there to pilot me through the ordeal. May not remember everybody.
Who's taken the writing book?
Oh, sorry. Just checking you're not cheating on your income tax.
They think the arms and legs may belong to the owner of the trunk.
Oh, no more Victoria Station. All right, Ruth.
How could he leave it at the station if he hasn't got any arms or legs?
I'm sorry. Weekends are generally ghastly.
What's Brat going to ride in the bird show?
Why ask me? They're his horses. Oh, I don't want to show any horses in the ring. Takes technique to do that. I don't have it.
Oh, you used to be very good.
Oh, a long time ago.
He could ride Timber in the race, the cross-country course.
I'm riding Timber over the jumps. It's not going to be knocked about in a bloody race for bumpkins. If I still have any say in the matter, that is. Do I?
Yes, of course you do.
Good. In that case, you won't be raced. Well, I would have said it was good preparation for him. But you know the course better than I do.
About next Friday.
Friday?
The 6th. Your birthday.
Sorry. Still half asleep.
Since we've postponed the real celebration till Uncle Charles gets here, I thought we wouldn't bother very much with any sort of a party on Friday. What do you think?
Well, it's Simon's birthday, too. What does he say?
Well, I haven't asked him yet.
Well, why don't we just take the coming of age for granted and forget about it?
Well, we can hardly do that. Mr. Sandal's coming down from London with all those papers you have to sign.
Okay, just family, then.
Good.
How can anyone forget their own 21st birthday?
You came of age a long time ago, didn't you?
Come. And Ashby I recognise. Which one I wouldn't like to put money on?
Patrick, look, if this is inconvenient...
Not at all. Not at all. I take it it's not publicity you're after.
I'm afraid I haven't been much good to you, have I?
Let's put it like this. The only way I'm ever going to get into the Nationals is in a trunk in sections. They're now saying the legs belong to two different people.
That's news.
Come to look at your obituary.
Oh, should make interesting reading.
Well, there's not much of it. The obituary itself, plus 2 or 3 columns in inquest, that's about it.
Verbatim?
Here and there. I read the whole thing through before I came to see you on Wednesday. One thing puzzled me a bit. The note you left. The one everybody took to be a suicide note.
Yeah.
They say you wrote it with a rotring pen.
So?
It's an odd thing for a kid to carry about, wasn't it?
Not if you're into sketching and ornithology. It was one of my pet possessions. I was never without it.
We live and learn. I'll get your file.
Hello, George. You know, you really must find another hiding place for the key. Anyone could just walk in.
I imagine you failed to notify me in advance of this visit, on the grounds that I'd probably find an excuse to put you off.
Dear brother, you never change.
Neither, unfortunately, do you.
Well, it must be very lonely for you here, now that poor Nancy's dead.
I may be alone, Alec. I'm not lonely. What is it you want, money?
Actually, I'm quite flush at the moment.
Are you staying or hopefully just passing through?
My suitcase is in the hall.
See.
Oh, is that it then? No fraternal embrace after 2 years' separation. Not even a handshake.
Are you ill, perhaps? In some sort of trouble?
No, I'm resting, George. That horrid punter's euphemism for jobless. Play closed on Saturday, so I had one of my famous impulses, and here I am.
Make up the bed in the spare room.
Right.
Help yourself to a drink.
Oh, dear.
Thought you'd gone into Westover. No, I came back. I want to talk to you. What's the joke? I just realized who it is you remind me of. That murderous stallion of yours. Well-bred, good-looking, and bloody unpredictable. You'll never get away with it, you know. With this criminal impersonation. You may have fooled the others, but you haven't fooled me. If you really think I'm not Patrick, why don't you do something about it? Tell B. You think she'd believe me? She just put it down to my resentment because you were taking over. B wants you to be Patrick. It eases her conscience to think that he didn't commit suicide after all. No. I have a better way of dealing with the matter. You leave Latches tonight, and I keep my mouth shut. £600. Should get you out of the country by tomorrow. Try Paris. You'll like Paris. I like it here, Simon. Why shouldn't I? I'm about to inherit a fortune. I don't know who you are or where you're from, but you are going to be very sorry you didn't leave while you had the chance.
Here today are the nonconformists and Lana's brother, who's got measles.
And Simon. It's Alec.
Hello.
What on earth are you doing here?
If you mean what on earth am I doing in a church, darling, I'm studying. I've decided to do a one-man show based on the prevalent English superstitions. Oh, the Rolling Stone. Do you know, for a moment I thought you were Simon.
Still the same flamboyant Alec. It's nice to see you again.
It's amazing to see you again. Quite the little 9-day wonder. George has asked you all in for a little drinky after the show.
Hymn 774, hymns ancient and modern. Come, O thou traveller, unknown.
Whom still I hold but cannot see.
Good morning, Beatrice.
Dear George, you do love giving us our weekly ration of the abstract, don't you?
Oh, once he sets foot in the pulpit, darling, he's a bigger show-off than any actor I know.
Well, Patrick,
Hello, Mr. Lenningham.
welcome home.
Thanks.
You go after Alec. I'll be with you in a few minutes.
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
Are you living down here now?
I'm sorry? Oh, no, heaven forfend, dear heart. No, the countryside is not my idea of a good time.
Who's Eleanor with?
Roger Spence, he's a doctor. We think she ought to marry him.
Oh, why?
Because he's got pots of money and he rides well.
What does she think?
Who knows?
I'm sorry we haven't asked you over. I wanted his arrival to be as informal as possible.
I understand.
He's a dear, isn't he? And he seems to have dropped into place again so easily.
George, you haven't got a drink, hmm?
No sign of Simon this morning? Is he still being difficult?
No, not really. I think he's just decided to keep out of the way until after the birthday. We've seen very little of him since Patrick's arrival. He sleeps at home, but that's all.
I suppose you dragged your brother around the paddocks before he's even over the doorstep.
Oh, you're all
Always.
right. Excuse me.
Was
Here
he
I go.
impressed?
I think he's in love with the whole bunch.
There we are.
What the hell are you doing down here?
Smile, Patrick, smile. We're the centre of attention. I'm so glad to see you haven't been taken into custody.
Did you expect me to be?
Well, there was always that possibility. Everything all right?
No, I need to talk to you. 10 o'clock tomorrow up at Gisco's.
No, George has never really approved of the acting profession. Have you, George? It's rather hypocritical, really, when you enjoy wearing fetching frocks yourself. Tell me, B, what would you say a passion for dressing up was an indication of? Sense of insecurity?
You must come and have a meal with us when we've crawled out from under the crush.
Why don't you ask Simon to come and talk to me?
I'm afraid he's drinking rather a lot.
Jealousy is a very destructive emotion.
Simon doesn't really have the temperament to cope with that sort of thing. Being relegated to second place and losing a fortune. Not at all sure I could cope with an abdication like that. To be perfectly honest, I'm secretly rather relieved that Patrick will be taking over the business. I never thought that Simon liked horses all that much. To him, they're just a means of providing excitement. Bye.
Fine.
What did happen to your leg?
Oh, an accident. Breaking horses. I cracked a thigh bone.
Was the horse all right?
Oh, no, they shot it. The accident was my fault, but they shot the horse just the same.
What did you do?
I cried.
I'm sorry I haven't been very nice to you. I didn't want to be nasty. It just sort of came out that way.
I know.
He is, Patrick.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh, I'm sorry, George. I'm so sorry. Just slipped out. Put it down to the booze.
If he is, Patrick, I find it very hard to understand or excuse all those years of silence.
But how on earth could it be anybody else? He's the spitting image of Simon.
Yes, I know.
According to B, he's been positively vetted by the legal beagles. He's been accepted by his family. He's been welcomed by everybody else. You saying they've all got it wrong?
No, of course not. You're quite right.
Walter.
Wasn't he the black sheep of the family?
Yes, he died while you were away.
In an odour of sanctity, I bet. He looks so contrite.
More like an odour of disinfectant. Cirrhosis of the liver in a Manchester drying out clinic. Uncle Charles looked after him, I think.
Good old Uncle Charles. What's all this? An early birthday present?
I thought you might like to have them back. There's nothing of value. Just some odds and ends I hung on to. I'll leave you to rummage.
Well, don't go. Please. Stay and talk.
I used to get them out and look at them sometimes. And think about you. Why did you never write to us?
Shame, I suppose. I don't really know.
You should have let us know you were safe.
It's a lot easier than you think to just drop the past behind you when you're 13.
I must try it sometime. There's quite a lot of the past I wouldn't mind dropping behind me.
Does that include Roger Spence? Or is he part of your future?
These are pretty good, considering.
Bird-watching bores, Simon. His tastes are mechanical.
What?
That's what IMP said at my inquest. I was reading about it yesterday.
Rather morbid.
Not really, just curious. Simon had mechanical tastes. The day I ran off, he spent all afternoon at the blacksmith's.
I think Mr. Pilbeam was helping him make a sheep crook or something. None of Simon's hobbies lasted longer than a fortnight. Look. Were they good horses, those western ones?
Good for their work. Now and then you come across a real beauty. More individual than an English horse, somehow.
Perhaps we managed the individuality out of them.
Eleanor.
Yes?
Thanks. For these.
I'm off. See to the lights, won't you? Don't lock up though, Simon's still out somewhere.
Good night. Don't worry, Patrick. I'll look after your interests.
Morning, Greg.
Morning, sir.
Has Timber been exercised this morning?
No, sir, not yet, sir. Oh, Mr. Patrick, sorry.
Guess who? Oh, I thought you were Simon.
Sorry to disappoint you.
You're the long-lost brother, aren't you? Somebody did tell me what your name is, but I've forgotten.
Patrick.
I'm Sheila Parslow.
Hi.
Funny you should look so like your brother and yet look so different. You even wear the same sort of clothes.
Well, these are his clothes.
I don't suppose you'd like to give me my lesson instead of your sister, would you?
I'm afraid that's not my department.
Pity. I'm fed up with that Eleanor looking down her nose at me all the time. I mean, it's not as if I come here to have fun. As far as I'm concerned, they can keep their safe rides for ladies. I hate riding.
Then why do it?
Simon, of course.
You've been warned about his little ways, have you, sir?
Timber and I already well acquainted.
Oh, so I see. Well, don't let him get lit up too much, or he'll break out again after he's been dried.
Don't worry, Greg. I'll keep him cool. Does Simon know you're fond of him?
Fond of him? I don't even like him that much. I'm just trying to have an affair with him. You've got to do something to pat things up in a dump like Gasgate. I suppose you've ridden horses since you could crawl.
Just about.
I hate it. Bumping about in a great shapeless mountain, nothing to hang on to. Looks so easy when Eleanor does it. Bet she never gets blisters where I get blisters.
Well, I'm off, Sheila. Nice to have met you.
Suppose it's no use my trying to seduce you instead.
This is the place, isn't it?
Well, this is where they found Patrick's jacket, if that's what you mean over there.
Poor kid.
Rich kid. Look, let's make this short and sweet, shall we? What's bothering you?
Look, sometime, somewhere, something's going to turn up that you never knew about or forgot to tell me, and I'm going to make a mistake that's going to blow the whole thing.
Could this by any conceivable chance have something to do with Eleanor? With sex, dear heart? Oh, I did see the way you were looking at her yesterday. I'm not at all sure that my reverend brother didn't notice as well. I do hope you're not forgetting. She's supposed to be your sister. Look, don't get cold feet now. You're in. You've made it.
I feel like someone who's climbed a mountain and can't get down.
Well, why on earth should you want to? You're sitting as of right at the Ashby table. They're all tickled to death about it.
Not Simon.
Well, no, perhaps not Simon. He's about to lose a fortune after all.
He knows I'm not Patrick.
What?
Well, the first time we met, he came into the room, strung up to face something awful. Almost as if he was afraid I might be Patrick. The relief on his face when he saw it was me was almost funny.
Well, if he thinks you're not Patrick, why hasn't he done something about it?
That's what worries me. Why hasn't he?
Well, Simon was always a nasty little boy. Sought to pull the wings off flies. If you're right, it can only be malice.
Then he's got us cold.
I said if you're right. I'm quite sure you're not.
Are you? I'm not sure of anything or anyone anymore. I'd love to know where Simon was when Patrick went over this cliff.
Look, what precisely are you getting at?
No body was ever found, was it? So there's only one way Simon could be absolutely certain that I'm not Patrick. He knows Patrick is dead.
Where's the fire?
Simon's looking for you.
Where is he?
I don't know. Greg says he's drunk.
At this time of day?
He's in a foul temper.
I better keep out of his way then. You interfering, ham-handed lout. Hey, this is about the horse. Timber's my business, not yours, you bloody little upstart.
Simon!
Someone had to exercise it. No one exercises that horse without my permission.
Oh, for God's sake, the horses belong to Brat. He's every right to...
He has no bloody right at all!
Maybe your brother, but you have no right...
My brother, that object! He isn't even asked for, you stupid little cow! God knows what he is. What are you, Farrar? Somebody's groom? Stick to sweeping stables and keep your grubby, common little hands off my horse! You haven't inherited yet, Farrar, and you never will. I'll see to that!